All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to another great episode on your favorite political talk show, The Truth, with Ben Jokes. Bandits in fresh attacks, kill pastor, village head, kidnap two others in Kwara. The situation in Kwara State now is shocking. I was speaking with a former principal of Federal Government College Ilorin today, and he said the state capital Ilorin is the only place that he can say to the best of his knowledge has not been attacked. And I said, sir, you can't be serious. He said even the state capital cannot be said to be safe because some of these attacks are happening about 40 to 50 kilometers away from the state capital. But the APC wants Nigerians to be quiet about these whole attacks. And initially we said they wanted us to be quiet about everything because they don't want the Tinubu regime to look bad. But at this point, I think it is beyond that. I think they are actually happy with the attacks. Why? I can't say exactly why. But from all indications, the APC is happy with the killings in Nigeria. That is why I keep saying that Nigeria will never see the back of insurgency and terrorism until we get rid of the APC. Now, let us look at the top stories. First is that one coming from Southwest. Powerful words condemning Tinubu to a one-term presidency. And next is that update on the resignation of INEC chairman Professor Mahmood Yakubu. Nigerians rain down curses and aspersions on Mahmood Yakubu as he resigns from office as INEC chairman. What a shameful way to bow out of public office. Before I show you details of these top stories and how Nigerians reacted, let me quickly show you this video. This video underscores the arrogant ignorance of the political class. Watch the video.
Aliko Dangote is not an individual, it's an institution. And he's a leading light in Nigeria's economic firmament. And how we treat this gentleman will determine how outsiders will judge us. If he had invested $10 billion in Microsoft, in Amazon, in Google, probably he might be worth $70 to $80 billion by now. But he opted to invest in his country. And we owe it to future generations to jealously protect, promote, preserve, and project the interests of this great Nigeria. I wish to call for caution, retrospection, and a deeper sense of patriotism from both the labor and the organized private sector in defining and improving the relationship between labor and industry in the interest of maintaining our steadily improving economic fortunes. It's not about holding the whole nation to ransom because of a minor labor dispute. Nigeria is greater than Pengasar. Nigeria is greater than each and every one of us.
You saw that. And this tweet by Sehe says, now those people where they clap, they spoil this country, wallahi. No be people where they talk. I am telling you, these people clap for everything. They don't even care what you are saying. Their own is once they just find themselves in halls like that, they are there to applaud. And it's not like I am supporting Pengassan. I have nothing in common with Pengassan. I don't know the people there. I don't care about them. My focus is on the speech that Shettima gave here. And it is easy to listen to Shettima and call him an orator. But for me, most of his speeches come with a lot of arrogant ignorance. Because he said something here. He said, the way Nigeria treats Dangote is how the world will judge us. And there is no problem in what he said. The only problem is that you will never hear Shettima and his cohort say that The way Nigeria treats the average Nigerian is the way the world will judge Nigeria. Whereas in the international community, a country is first of all judged by how it treats the defenseless, the poor, the women, the less privileged, not by how it treats the richest man in the continent. So saying that how we treat Dangote is how the world will judge us is not exactly wrong. But do you consider the poor? Do you consider the defenseless? Do you consider how you treat the average man on the streets? Because that is the first metric by which the world will judge this country. And how do we treat the average man? Despicably, without respect, without regard. And he went ahead to say that if Dangote had put 10 billion naira in Amazon, he would have been worth whatever. But he decided to put it in Nigeria. Like we owe him gratitude. Do you think we are not aware of how the federal government of this country made Dangote? Please, Mr. Man, let's not go into all that. People occupying exalted offices must not use propaganda to prove their points. If you don't know what to say, then you shouldn't appear. But to wrap up propaganda in oratory has never done justice for anybody. Now, let us look at the top stories. First is that strong one coming from southwest Nigeria, condemning Tinubu to a one-term presidency. And next is that update on the resignation of INEC chairman Professor Mahmood Yakubu that was met with curses and aspersions by thousands of Nigerians. Let's start by taking that update coming out of Southwest. Look at how the papers reported it. Southwest won't reward Tinubu's failure in 2027, says Gbenga Olawepo Hashim, one of the chieftains of the People Democratic Party. Gbenga Olawepo Hashim has said that the Southwest won't reward Bola Ahmed Tinubu's failure in governance by voting for his re-election in 2027. The Southwest coordinator of Gbenga Hashim's Solidarity Movement, Alhaji Abbas Olani, said this in a statement made available to journalists in Ilorin while reacting to Reno Omokri's recent appeal for the Southwest and North to rally behind Bola Ahmed Tinubu in 2027. Omokri, in a widely circulated statement, had urged the two regions to show solidarity with Tinubu, likening the plea to the North's decision to back former President Muhammadu Buhari in 2019, despite his poor performance in office. He also claimed that Tinubu had expanded Nigeria's GDP and launched infrastructure projects in the north. But in his reaction on the statement, Olani insisted that the region will not reward monumental failure with another mandate and accused Omokri of political deception and manipulation, stressing that governance is about competence, not ethnic reciprocity or emotional blackmail. Our people are too politically conscious to reward hunger, poverty, and economic collapse with fresh endorsement, Olani declared. He argued that the economic record of the APC-led government was catastrophic, noting that Nigeria's GDP, which stood at over $570 billion in 2014, had shrunk to less than $300 billion, representing almost a 50% contraction. Olani dismissed Tinubu's claims of GDP growth as a mirage created by currency devaluation that leaves Nigerians poorer than ever, adding that Nigerians don't eat GDP statistics, they eat food, and under Tinubu, food is unaffordable. You saw that. Now, Chief Gbenga Olawepo Hashim is one of the many Southwest chiefs, Southwest elders that have come out to condemn this administration, and rightly so. Ever since the APC came in 2015, they have brought nothing but pain to Nigeria, and everything has worsened under Tinubu. It is even shocking that we even need to be telling people not to vote APC in 2027. I believe that 99.9% of Nigerians should have rejected them already. But of course, the rejection nationwide of the Tinubu administration is massive. But Nigerians still have work to do. Yes, we know that a lot of rigging, the APC is planning to rig elections. But like I said, the APC chiefs, the senators, Akpabio, Tinubu, and all of them are not going to come out to rig these elections. It is people that they are going to pay to do it. So if Nigerians decide that we are going to take this money and we will work against the APC, and if those going to the polling unit decide that we are 100 in this polling unit, 98 of us are going to vote against the APC and we will defend our votes. If all these things are put in place, these people will be kicked out of office, because if they stay in office beyond 2027, I am telling you, the havoc they will wreak, even a decade of good leadership will not be able to fix. And just as Nigerians were yet reacting to that update on the resignation of the INEC chairman that was met with curses and aspersions began making the rounds. Look at how the papers reported it. Breaking: INEC chairman Mahmood Yakubu steps down a month early, hands over to acting chair May Agbamuche Umbo. Professor Mahmood Yakubu, the national chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC), has handed over to May Agbamuche Umbu, who will now serve as the acting chairman of the commission. Yakubu has officially bowed out as INEC chairman after nearly a decade at the helm. Reporters gathered that he was formally informed of his successor before meeting with the resident electoral commissioners on Tuesday, where he announced his decision to leave office a month ahead of schedule. His departure marks the end of a 10-year tenure, during which he served 2 consecutive terms as the head of Nigeria's electoral body. Mahmood Yakubu handed over to May Agbamuche Umbu, an INEC commissioner, after a brief ceremony at the INEC headquarters on Tuesday, where Rex and senior officials were present, a top government source said. Earlier on Tuesday, reporters exclusively reported that barring any last-minute changes, Bola Tinubu was expected to nominate Professor Joash Ojo-Amupitan to succeed Professor Yakub as the INEC national chairman. Sahara reporters reported that to formalize the appointment, Tinubu had scheduled a meeting of the Council of State for this Thursday. Amupitan is both a kinsman and long-time legal counsel for Senator Dino Melaye. On September 26, 2025, Sahara reporters exclusively reported that Amupitan had emerged as the likely candidate to succeed Yakubu as the INEC national chairman. The fraudulent Mahmood Yakubu, one of the worst Nigerians ever in the history of this nation. And look at how Nigerians reacted. Let's take some of the tweet reactions. October Jai here says, Nigeria will never forget how he shattered the foundation of our democracy through the 2023 cyber glitch and election fraud. The will of the people was traded. Sadly, this is what Mahmood Yakubu will be remembered for. What a despicable way to bow out of public office. And Medevo here says, disgraceful. This is a professor after being used by politicians. See how he is being dumped like a used sanitary pad. Lesson for the next chairman. And Dr. Silva says, posterity will judge you, Professor Mahmood Yakubu. The evil you did will transcend to your children yet unborn. They will seek mercy, but they won't find none. Wow, this is really deep coming from Dr. Silva. And if you look at the severity of this man's crime, this man is one of the major players in the destruction of the lives of hundreds of millions of people. Because if he had given us our mandate in Peter Obi, we know how well this country would have been doing by now. And this tweet here by AKA says, it shall never be well with him. Hope the money collected to turn 2023 election upside down will buy him a seat in heaven. Sadly not. Money cannot buy you a seat in heaven. And this tweet here says, the man who got Nigeria into this mess has been used and dumped to go and enjoy his rotten loot. But he should remember that there is no peace for the wicked. Exactly. There is no peace for the wicked. And Mahmood Yakubu is clearly one of the most wicked Nigerians to have ever lived. And this is the end. This is the end of everything. Now he has left office. He's going to sit down and begin to reflect on the evil that he did. That is if he actually has a conscience. But people like this, I don't think they have. I think the last part of their conscience, they have smeared it themselves. They have destroyed it themselves. The destiny of over 200 million people. You ruined it because of how many billions did they say Tinubu gave him? But the truth is, if Nigerians did not allow him to carry out those things, because this is a Nigerian thing. After Mahmoud Yakubu did his nonsense, there was still an opportunity with the judiciary to overturn the results. Because apart from the fact that they rigged, there were several other grounds like the 25% in FCT. And look at the criminal case of Tinubu that was presented before them. So there were several other grounds for that election to be nullified. But because we have a culture of corruption that has eaten deep into all our institutions, they went ahead and carried out the rubbish that they did. So this is a Nigerian thing, just as I have been saying. In any society where corruption reigns supreme, no strategy will work. It will shock you to know that if an INEC chairman decides that he will not collect money, that he will not rig, he might be removed from office. And you will still find some Nigerians supporting him. You will find the judiciary that is corrupt. They will look for a way to back those decisions. This is why it is the people themselves that can reject corruption in Nigeria. It is the people themselves that can rewrite the story of this country. But we cannot do that if we are greatly divided. So wherever you are watching this video, from north, south, east, or west, make it a point of duty to refuse to accept the sentiments with which politicians have divided this country, or elders, traditional rulers, whoever. Reject those sentiments and tell yourself as a Nigerian that we can make this country great if we cast aside our sentiments and unite. But until then, make I still enter town, make I go get some ogbonge political news wey una go like. Why? Because of una I dey here. So don't go away.